Hey everyone, and welcome. So have you ever dreamed of writing a business book, but then you sit down and nothing? You're just staring at a blank page? Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. Today, we're gonna dig into why the biggest thing holding you back probably isn't your writing skill at all. It's something much deeper. Let's dive in.
Right? We've all been there. You've got the knowledge. You've got these incredible ideas swirling around in your head. But the second you try to write, you're just face to face with that blinking cursor in a sea of white. It is so frustrating, and honestly, it can make you feel like you're just not cut out for this.
But here is the big secret. The problem isn't your talent. It's not about being a born writer. See, we get this all wrong. We think it's about talent, but it's actually about discipline. And discipline, that's just a skill, one you can build with a few simple routines. So that means the real roadblock is something else entirely.
And that right there, that's the whole game. Getting words on the page has everything to do with your mindset. The battle to write your book isn't won with a fancy vocabulary or perfect grammar. Nope, it's fought and won right inside your own head. So before we even start thinking about chapter outlines or drafting paragraphs, we've got to understand who the real enemy is. The biggest thing stopping you from getting all that expertise out of your head and onto the page, they're mental, not literary. So let's do it. Let's identify the 5 most common mindset traps that stop smart, capable business authors dead in their tracks. Think of these as the villains of your writing story, because once you can name them, you can absolutely defeat them. First up is this little voice, right? The one that whispers, "You're not a real writer." It tells you that writing is some magical gift that only a few chosen people have. That is a total myth. Writing is a skill, just like sales or marketing. It's built with practice and discipline, not some kind of innate genius. Next up, the strategy gap. This is what happens when you start writing a book without a really clear mission. You know, a book without a why is like a business project with no brief. It is absolutely destined to lose steam and just end up collecting digital dust in a folder somewhere.
Perfectionism. The classic. It feels so productive, doesn't it? Like you're just aiming for high standards. But let's be honest, it's really just fear wearing a fancy coat. It keeps you planning, researching, and tweaking, anything to avoid actually starting.
Oof, this one is a real energy vampire. You write one messy, clunky first paragraph, and then you glance over at that perfectly polished bestseller on your shelf, and you just feel completely defeated. You're comparing your first step to their finish line, and that is a surefire recipe for paralysis.
And finally, the infamous imposter syndrome. You know that nagging feeling that you're a fraud, that little voice saying, "Who are you to write a book about this?" It's so tricky because it masks itself as objective, rational thought, but its only job is to totally sabotage your confidence before you even type word 1.
Okay, we've met the villains. Now let's get you armed. We are officially shifting from the problem to the solution. This is your toolkit, your set of weapons for taking down every single one of those mindset traps. So how do you fight that "I'm not a writer" voice? You build proof that it's wrong, and you do it with tiny, low-pressure habits. Just start with 15 minutes a day. That's it. Jot down ideas without judging them. The goal is what we call a low-pressure first draft. Your only job is to be messy and get it down on the page. Remember, that's what editors are for. They help you refine it later.
All right, to close that strategy gap, we need to get crystal clear. First question, what transformation do you want to create for your reader? Seriously, think about it. What problem will they have solved by the time they finish your last chapter? Next, let's make it about you. What do you want this book to do for your business, specifically? Are we talking more speaking gigs, better leads? Do you want to be known as the #1 authority in your niche? Get tangible with it.
And finally, you gotta prioritize. You can't do it all at once. So, what is the single most important outcome that would make this whole project a huge win for you? When you define that, your vague idea suddenly becomes a powerful strategic mission.
Okay, now to fight perfectionism, you have to reframe it. And I think this slide does it perfectly. Look at this comparison. Imperfect action actually silences your doubt because you're moving. A messy draft isn't a failure, it's data. It's the raw clay you can shape later. Progress will always beat a perfection that never arrives.
And for that nasty comparisonitis, I want you to burn this image into your brain. It is so fundamentally unfair and frankly kind of cruel to compare your very first wobbly steps to someone else's gold medal finish. They've been training for years. You're just learning to crawl. Give yourself a break.
So how do you actually do that? You have to focus on your own race.
Anchor your wins to your milestones. Did you finish a chapter outline? Awesome, celebrate that. Get off social media if it's making you compare yourself, and pour all that energy into what really matters, developing your unique voice. No one else has that.
And for that imposter syndrome, that inner critic, here's a simple, powerful little exercise. The moment that voice pops up, just stop. First, actually say out loud, "It will be okay." It sounds silly, but it grounds you. Second, ask, really, what is the absolute worst that could happen? You'll realize it's never as bad as you think. And then, build your case against that critic by celebrating every single small win.
Okay, with our mindset toolkit ready to go, we can finally build the bridge from that internal confidence to an external actionable plan. This is how you turn a healthy mindset into an actual finished manuscript.
This 7-step framework is your roadmap. Seriously, think of it like a business plan, but for your book. When you work through these steps, from self-reflection all the way to validating and shortlisting your best idea, you build a rock-solid foundation. This process ensures the actual writing part is faster, smoother, and just way less intimidating.
We've covered a ton of ground here, right? From the mental traps to the strategic plan. But you know what? None of it means a thing without the single most important ingredient, actually taking action.
So if you take one thing away from our time together today, let it be this. Writing a book is not some mystical act where you wait for inspiration to strike. It's a process. It's about building habits, defining a smart strategy, and choosing messy progress over perfect paralysis every single time. Your confidence isn't something you wait to find, it's something you build through action.
And that brings us right here, to this moment. Your book isn't some impossible dream on the horizon. It's actually a lot closer than you think. It's just a series of small, manageable steps. So I'll leave you with this question. Forget about the whole book for a second. What is the one small step, that one 15-minute action that you're going to take today to get started?